Hi, we're playing Doom the Dark Ages, and I love games. I've always loved games. I play games every day, and a big part of the reason humans love games is because of learning, right? I think Doom the Dark Ages has been a fantastic example of that. See, I played Doom, the original Doom, back when it came out, when it was original, when it was on DOS. I started playing Pong when Pong was out, and then the ZX Spectrum, and then a 386 PC and the Sega Mega Drive, and then I'm looking for hidden places, looking for secrets. Looks like I've come to the end of this level, and then 486 PCs, and and so on and so on. And we build our own PCs now. Now I play on the Xbox. I've got Nintendo 3DS over here. I've got a Switch Lite in there. I love games. I play games every day. And gamification is a big thing in learning these days, right? I missed something. I missed an area that I left. Gamification is a big idea in learning, in that you can make learning into a game. You can make games where people have to learn things to be able to solve puzzles and progress, and this is done to a varying range of degrees, right? Sometimes it's kind of, I don't know. It's not what I expect from games as somebody who plays games a lot. So humans love games. They take you to different worlds. Some of the best stories I've ever worked through have been in games. Some of the best stories and narratives and characters I've ever experienced. But a big reason why we like games, sorry, as this is Doom, this is going to be gory, right? That's what Doom is. But a big reason we like games is because of learning. We like to learn. We're given difficult challenges. And Doom, I'm not doing very well because of... Wow! See, this is an example of cognitive load. I'll come back to that at the end. Let's try that again. I'm not going to use a live sigil, no. Right. Doom has been a lot of fun because it gives you a lot of abilities and it changes your abilities, and you have to learn as we go through, but it has been scaffolding that learning. It's been adding little bits as we go, and you learn cues. So watch out for the green colour cues, watch out for the reds, and the purples, and the way you react to each one you've been trained to do, and it becomes instinctual, and you learn to use different skills at different times. There we go, that was better, wasn't it? And you go from challenges that seem impossible or improbable, that there's that secret, to doing things you didn't think you could do. It's very much about learning. And that's what I think that people who try to gamify learning are missing, are that games teach you things, but it's not obvious, it's not in your face. You're learning step by step, so there's great scaffolding, but you're not... in games, you encounter things, you find things, you're taught in very subtle ways. Like you're taught, like say we drop down there, anybody who's played games a lot knows that if there are secrets, always look behind where the game designer has got you to face, because that's probably where they've placed the secret, right? Or placed the little hidden thing. And there's great repetition in gaming, and that repetition, that's practice, right? That repetition builds skill. A lot of learning is repetition. See how my brain is slowing down as I'm having to concentrate? And we learn through stories, so we work our way through stories. We don't realise we're learning, but stories teach you things, right? And I think that's what's missing from gamification. It's a bit like, if you know the original Karate Kid film, I don't know what the new one's like, but the classic idea is wax on, wax off. Mr. Miyagi gets the Karate Kid to clean his cars, to polish his cars and wax them, and it's a very repetitive motion. It's got nothing to do with learning karate, but of course by the time he spent hours and hours and hours practicing those movements come into play when he's learning karate. And it's that sort of thing, that learning without realizing you're learning, that you want to spend time doing this because it's fun, but it's also very effective at learning. If games were not effective at teaching, we wouldn't enjoy them because they would be too hard. And we like a challenge, and nowadays modern games you can even adjust the challenge to all sorts of levels, particularly in this game, because enjoyment is understood to be more than just challenge, and as people have different skill levels. I mean, look at me, I'm not playing very well at all, am I? See, look. See, the greens can't dodge the purple. Well, I can dodge the purples, but I can't reflect the purples, but I need to reflect the greens to get down the things, and I've got the different bosses, and I'm overwhelmed, and more green, and you've got to pick your strategy, and because I'm talking to you, I'm doing a terrible job, so let's just finish these guys off, if I can. Oh. Thank you. No, this isn't going well. Done. And often, one of the reasons I like Doom is I've got the difficulty, I think this is on ultra violence, so I've got the difficulty such that when I hit a difficult encounter, I do sometimes fail. And they've got a thing in the game which lets you continue, as it were. But I often don't use those because I like the challenge, and I like having to learn how to complete that encounter. And by learning how to complete that encounter, my skills get better for future encounters. Secrets. Oh, look, see. And there. Okay. So you learn how to use the maps. You learn the different abilities of the different enemies, you learn how to encounter them, you learn to traverse the world, and actually games are very visuospatial, so they suit probably anatomists, people with good visuospatial abilities, right? These are demons, we've all got to battle our own demons, right? So demons are right to destroy. You learn, you get rewarded, that positive feedback loop keeps you doing the same thing in the future. You feel clever as a result because you've learned, right? And this is what we want when we're learning anatomy, right? We want confident, instinctual, accurate recall. Ooh. Which is what games are teaching us, right? So in terms of cognitive load, right, cognitive load is something teachers need to be aware of, and in its simplest form it's about how much our working memory can hold, and also how much kind of our perceptual memory, how much we can cope with at any one moment. So when I'm battling a huge group of complex demons, that's taken up all my processing power, right? And I haven't got a lot of processing power to talk to you or to listen to anybody that comes into the room. You kind of like, pretend to pay attention. So cognitive load when we're teaching, this is why in a presentation I don't have a lot of text on my slides while I'm talking, because you can listen to me or you can read the slides, but you can't really do both at once. This is why if I'm giving a practical task to do, I'll write down the instructions rather than just give verbal instructions and expect you to remember that and do the thing, because there's only so much we can handle. It doesn't mean you can't teach complex things, it just means you have to scaffold carefully to lift everybody up to that complex thing, and that's exactly what games do. And if we get it right, and if games get it right, you might fail a few times, but when you get it right, you feel like a genius. And that's the feeling that gets us coming back to playing games, right? Or one of them. Okay, anyway, right, I'm going to carry on with this. I'll speak to you next week.